This is the plaintiff, Connie Hayes. She says she bought a condo from the defendants, and they failed to reveal that the washing machine leaked. In fact, the defendants had a leak 6 months prior to the sale, and they flooded their downstairs neighbors. The defendants knew about the problem. She was forced to go out and purchase a new washer, and she wants to be reimbursed for the $1,094.94 she's out. These are the defendants, Kristen and Stephen Berlin. They say the condo was sold as is, and the plaintiffs had every right to have the place inspected. A month after the sale, the plaintiff notices the washing machine leaked. How's that their fault all those weeks later? Sometimes appliances break down. End of story. They're accused of being all washed up. The defendants have filed a countersuit for $1,830 for attorney's fees.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says she really got taken for a ride when she bought the defendant's condo. The washer leaked and it flooded downstairs. But the defendant says she bought the condo as is, so tough. It's the case of Plumber. He hardly knew her.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Connie Hayes?
Yes,
You are suing Kristen and Stephen Berlin,
that's correct.
from whom you bought your present condo that you're
Yes.
living in? All right, for $1,094.94 that you say you are out as a result of what you call misrepresentations on their part during the sale.
Yes.
Tell me what happened.
Basically, I went through a realtor to purchase a condo. She showed me, along with his realtor, showed me the condo.
And where's the condo?
In Gulfport, Florida.
All right.
It was completely furnished, as well as the appliances. Finally paid the asking price that Mr. Berlin and Mrs. Berlin had asked. There was one problem, though. He had a tenant. So we were going to close December 15th, but he had to give the tenant 30 days notice.
All right, so everybody is a grown-up and everybody agrees. We're going to go ahead and close with the tenant potentially a problem. All right.
And the only thing about that, instead of having a walkthrough, I chose not to have it before because she was going to live there another 30 days. So I had an addendum put to the contract stating that I had one day after the 15th of January, which gave her 30 days, to inspect the premises.
What day do you come and inspect the condo?
The 16th.
All right, when you come there on the 16th, what do you find?
I found that the washer was defective
How?
because I had got a call from Daryl, the property manager,
Saying what?
that there had been a major water leak from the upstairs unit, which is my unit, prior to me purchasing the condo.
Why is he calling you and telling you that? I'm just
Because
curious.
he was afraid that it was going to happen again if I didn't have any knowledge of the problem.
Okay.
Okay, the problem I'm having is that he had to sign a disclosure saying that everything worked. There was nothing wrong with the washer, dryer, dishwasher. Had I not been informed by the property manager, Daryl, I could have possibly caused more damage.
Okay. Hand me all of the documents from the sale of the place, including any addendums that you guys entered into. This is an as-is sale of the house, of the condo, right?
I didn't feel it was as is.
What do you mean you feel? That's either it is or it isn't. That's not subject to interpretation. It's a first word in the contract. The first two words in the contract are as is. But she's complaining because there's a disclosure form.
Correct.
That you filled out. And in the disclosure form, in Florida, a seller is obligated to disclose to the buyer all known facts that materially affect the value of the property being sold that are not readily observable. All right, item number 13, major appliances. Refrigerator, freezer, washer, dryer. Are you aware of any problems with these appliances, including whether any of the appliances have leaked or overflowed since you have owned the property? And the answer very clearly is no. Now, you get told by the property manager that it in fact leaked.
Yes.
Do you have any affidavits or anything from anybody? While she's looking for that, what happened?
What happened was on June 1st, I got a call from my tenant. She said that there was water on the floor in the laundry room. Plumber went out there on June 2nd, and the plumber, actually my tenant met with the plumber to let them in and was there for the entire time. I was not there during the inspection. The plumber called me and said, I didn't find the source of any water. Because your tenant said that she never used the washer and dryer, I disconnected the hoses. And frankly, Judge, we never had the problem again.
Well, of course you didn't if the thing wasn't connected.
But
how are you going to have the problem again if you don't connect the
but
washer?
Judge, I don't know where the water came from. I don't know if the water came from the loose connections to the wall, which are disconnected. Could have come from the washer dryer. I don't know. And that's the issue in this case.
But the disclosure asks the following question. Are you aware of any problems with these appliances, including whether any of the appliances have leaked or overflowed since you've owned the property? And you say no.
'Cause I didn't know where the water came from. And in fact, I also
But
submitted.
why don't you just write that? I mean, why would you play fast and loose like this?
I actually-
this is why you're here.
You're absolutely right in retrospect. But
So what you're saying to me is your tenant said that there's standing water. You call a plumber for the standing water, and the plumber didn't know where the standing water came from.
correct. And I've also submitted an affidavit from my tenant stating the person who was with the plumber stating exactly the same thing.
Let me see the affidavit from the tenant.
Okay.
What evidence do you have to the contrary?
I have the plumber.
That's a plumber?
That's my
I thought this was
plumber.
your husband or something. That's the plumber? Did you recognize the plumber when you walked in here?
We never met him.
You never met the plumber?
I've never met the plumber.
Oh, now's when it gets interesting. Stand up, sir. What's your name?
Stephen Morrison.
So, this was an as-is sale. Can the plaintiff get money for all of the appliances that didn't work? What do you think?
I think she should get money because it wasn't fair that he sold her something
May
that
not be fair, but it was an as-is sale.
She definitely should just, oh God, sorry.
That's okay. What do you think?
If the seller misrepresented the items and told her one thing and it was another, then yes, she should be compensated.
Even if it's an as-is sale.
Even if it's as is, it depends what the seller says.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
How did you get called?
I initially got the call from Daryl, the property manager, after 3 hours of diagnosis and listening to the tenant stating that the washing machine has not been used because it never worked correctly. After finally pulling the washing machine out of the closet it was encased in, I took it all apart and tested the unit outside the closet and determined that the tub had a leak in it.
Where was the water coming from?
And the washing machine itself is what was leaking.
It was the appliance, not the plumbing.
Yes, and that's why after speaking with Mr. Berlin and talking with the tenant, we decided to leave it disconnected for fear that, God forbid,
Is this ringing a bell for you?
This woman forgets and goes ahead and washes her clothes again and floods the lady down below.
He's saying he told you that the actual tub had a leak.
With all due respect, and I have never met him individually, he's lying.
We've
I'm
never
sorry.
had, man.
What's
We've
his
spoken
motive?
on the
I
phone.
have what's my tenant's motive
Do
for
you
telling
two
the
know
truth?
each other?
No.
No.
She contacted me out of the blue. She heard I was out on the property before she bought it. I had stated what I found.
You don't send anything in writing to him back then?
Oh, no, I did send him an invoice.
He did not send me an invoice. The only thing he
Did
told
you
me.
pay him?
I paid him, and I have a copy of the check. He had me write it out
This
to
is
his
really
wife.
bad for you. The man is saying that he specifically told you that this washer dryer had a leak in it. And then not a few months later, you mark something saying that you are not aware of any appliances that have leaked.
Judge,
and
I will-
now, so you've got to, if you want me to believe that the guy is fabricating it, you got to give me something to hang my hat on.
I'm going to answer from the opposite. I'm an attorney. Why on earth would I stand in front of a courtroom, misrepresent myself, lie under oath?
One reason is because you probably didn't know this was the darn plumber. Like I didn't know this was the darn plumber until after all the testimony was in. Who'd have thunk she'd bring the plumber?
I hired him. Actually, I hired him on two separate occasions. The first time I hired him to go out there, my tenant was having a problem with, there was some water.
So is he wrong when he says that the property manager hired him? Like the property manager's the guy who called him?
I called him.
He's backwards. The initial call for the washing machine and the leak going down to the first floor came through the property management, and that's when I contacted Mr. Berlin and stated that I'm not an appliance repairman, but I've noticed it's coming out of the unit itself.
Did you say those words to
Those
this man?
exact words via the phone because we never did meet.
What kind of unit was this?
The stackable washer
How old
dryer.
was it?
I'm going to say if it was 8 years old.
It was 2 years old, Your Honor.
That's ironic. Do you know what you paid for it?
Yes, $749.
we have the receipt.
Why are you suing for $1,094.94? That's the amount for a brand new washer dryer?
Yeah, I have the receipt.
Okay, let me explain to you what court's about. There's two parts to every lawsuit. One is liability, and the second part is damages. First, you have to prove to me that somebody did you wrong, and I find that somebody did you wrong. Two, what is the extent of your damages? What you get is a depreciated value of the item at the time of the loss. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. Now, can I ask you a question? You have a counterclaim against her for $1,830 for attorney's fees?
Well, obviously, that's going to be an irrelevant counterclaim if you don't find in our favor.
So, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I don't think so. All right. I find in favor of the plaintiff in this case in the amount of $500 plus your court costs. Good luck, folks. Thank you.
So the defendant coming out first into the hallway here, how'd that go for you in court?
Well, not as well as I would have hoped. Obviously, when you have somebody who's flapping his uvula and spouting off falsehoods, I mean, what can you say?
How surprised were you when the plumber showed up on the other side as a witness?
Obviously, that was surprising. That was more surprising as to what his testimony was.
Okay, head right around the corner here, and let's see what the winning party has to say. All right, so come on in here. How are you feeling coming out of the courtroom here?
Very, very good.
Feel like a hero today?
I feel like an honest person got just reward.
Harvey?
Okay, this guy's right that if the seller misrepresents, it's called fraud if it's a material issue. And even if it's an as-is sale, the person who buys the condo can go after that person for any damage that he or she suffers. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.